Hello everyone and welcome again to my latest Rust Quickie. In my previous Rust Quickie I have talked about lifetime and lifetime annotations, and today I want to completely switch the topic and I want to talk about something completely new in Rust. I want to start by talking today about structs. A structure is more or less like a class in object-oriented programming languages like C++, Java or C#. And today I want to start by talking about so-called tuple-like structs in Rust. So let's switch over to Visual Studio Code, where I want to explain that concept in more detail to you. When you have worked in the past with object-oriented programming languages like C++ or C#, you should already know the concept of so-called classes. With classes, you have the possibility to encapsulate data and functionality, so functions, into a so-called class. Afterwards, you can instantiate that class. You set the data members of that class and you can invoke different functions that you have defined on that class. Rust also provides you some kind of object-oriented functionality through the use of so-called structs that we cover today, and also so-called traits that we will also cover in a subsequent Rust Quickie. A trait is more or less nothing else like an interface that you already know from C++ or C#. The easiest way to work with structs in Rust is through the use of so-called tuple-like structs. I've already talked about tuples in the 9th Rust Quickie, and the idea of tuple-like structs is that you define a struct with the struct keyword, you give that structure a name like coordinate, and then you just define its data members just with data types. As you can see from that definition, each data member has no name. This is a tuple-like struct. And as you can see, when we work now with that tuple-like struct, we just instantiate that tuple-like struct like a tuple. So we just pass in the various members. So 42 is the first value, 85 is the second value, 3 is the third value, and 3.14 is the fourth floating point value. And afterwards you can just access the individual members with indexes. So C.0 returns you the value of 42, C.1 returns you the value of 85, C.2 returns you the value of 3, and so on. So the idea of tuple-like structs is that the data members of that structure have no names. So let's run that program. And as you can see, we're just printing out the individual members of that tuple-like struct. But as I've said, each member can be only accessed through an index and it has no corresponding name. As you have seen, a tuple-like struct is a very lightweight data structure, and one of the largest disadvantages is that each data member doesn't have an associated name. So when you want to access a data member, you have to access that data member with an index. And therefore I want to show you in my next Rust Quickie how you can define a traditional structure in Rust where each data member also has a corresponding name, and you will also see how you can define your own functions on that structures. So thanks for watching this Rust Quickie, and I'm already looking forward to see you next week again. Thank you.